Yes, the problem that I was starting to talk about with regard to the tyres is that I changed my tyres for good tyres. I had good tyres already because my car's now, that's why I started to talk about the length of timing on the car. It's 110,000 kilometres, but a car like this would be expected to go for at least 200,000, maybe more. Maybe I'll run it to about 240,000 kilometres, I don't know, but I'm expecting to get about as much on it as I've had on it already. So I think that's reasonable with one of these cars. I know somebody else has got one who's about at that level with it. In fact, my old boss bought one for him and one for me. Mine's still with me because that was part of how we dealt with my departure. I was owed a little bit of money, and part of it was settled by giving me this car, in part settlement. And but my old boss has still ridden his hard, whereas I've with more airplanes to the Czech Republic and things like that, I haven't ridden mine so hard. So he's actually, from what I understand, got over 200,000 on his. Is still going strong. So I've got 110 with a bit on top. So it's about halfway through, and so I decided to put a second set of tyres on it. You might say, hey, how do you get 110,000 out of one set of tyres anyway, 110,000 kilometres? It's because you have two sets. In fact, you have a winter set and a summer set, and both of my Somerset. Sounds like a county. I've got a Somerset. I've got a Somerset of tyres, and then I've got a Devon of tyres and a Cornwall as well. But I've got the winter tyres I've also trashed just now because they came to the end as well after 6 years of usage, and but being 7 years old anyway, because it was I think this car was in the showroom for about 6 months before it was bought, which is why my former boss got a great deal on it. But it was just at a time when people were not buying cars because of some VAT change that had happened. That was all. There was nothing wrong with the car. There's nothing wrong with my opinion with this. I do like this particular brand of car. Grand Voyager, the Chrysler Grand Voyager. Obviously Chrysler's got issues of its own through the recession, but it's no reflection, in my opinion, on the car. So I decided I would not try and squeeze the last bit of good out of the tyres, but instead, your health can depend, or your life can depend on having good tyres. So I decided I'd actually, take their advice and get new tyres. So I got good tyres, and I had, because I know that in that place, once the summer comes, people are all in a rush to be changing their tyres, because I knew that this big journey was coming up. I thought, well, I better change to my new good tyres. So I bought my summer set of tyres. I'll buy the winter set next winter, because I've just now given to utilisation, as they call it, the old set. This is where Radomsko goes off to the left. And there's something called Teddy. TED, or TED is what they used to call this station. I don't know if they still call it that. Anyway, we're coming down gradually towards the next big city. We'll be a chance to hover in about 10 or 15 minutes. What did I want to say? Yes, so basically I've already got summer tyres on, and as it gets down below, if it snows and the roads go white and they don't clean them off, that wouldn't be good for this. That wouldn't be good for this journey. However, it's already, this is the Sunday after Easter Sunday. The fields have got no real, well, obviously they've got a right to do what they like, but there's no real expectation that there would be even snow on the fields. Even more, that it should, still go under zero and start snowing again on the road. But in any event, where I'm going, once we get past the high up bit going from Poland into the Czech Republic, as dropping down to Bratislava, that was supposed to have 9 degrees today. That's obviously warmer the southern part of Europe at the moment, the Bulgaria and what have you, and Italy is like 19 degrees at the moment. So I can't see really that I'm threatened by a lot of snowfall on the road. Hopefully not. If it is, then it'll probably still be today or tomorrow, and I'll just have to drive very carefully if it happens. But looking at that, 4 degrees above, well, 4 degrees above, you shouldn't normally get snow. You can, but you shouldn't normally get it. The road surface on a road like this is warmed up slightly by the continual passage of tyres, and so it's unlikely that snow would, at 4 degrees above Celsius, would hold. So I'm hoping that'll be fine. And of course, if there's snow still unmelted on the soil out there because of sub-zero below ground temperature still keeping it a little bit on for longer, even though the air temperature's, well, actually it's just gone down to 3 degrees. So hopefully that won't go much further. I don't want it really being below zero and then snowing because of the winter tires problem. But then again, I didn't buy winter tires until Tanya was born 9 years ago, or 10 years ago. But since Tanya was born, for the last 10 winters, I have used winter tires. But then there were 10 winters before that when I was around driving in this country, and didn't bother with them, which was a mistake. I advise anybody not to be stupid like that. And I did used to skid around a bit more, and I tried to control and what have you. But then, right now I have to be a little bit more careful than I used to be, because I've got more dependents now, and more vulnerable dependents now that can't really get along without me. So I just have to make sure that I take care. And so, I try and make sure that I've got the right equipment. That's one thing. That's the first thing about it. Not trying to drive too quickly, and always giving a little bit of leeway to other people to be nutty and stupid, and just let them get on with it, but not to be too close to them while they're doing it. Those are basically the ways in which I try to drive. Other drivers can be very, very poor, he says, taking his hands completely off the steering wheel. But that's not the risky thing. I mean, the risky thing's not so much that. There's certain other things that can happen on the road. So, yeah, that's what I just wanted to come back on again and say that. But actually, it's getting to the point where visibility is reducing. So I think, and also I need the little boys' room. So I'm going to turn this off and look for a place where I can stop and do the necessary just one time before continuing on to Krakow, where I shall spend the night. It doesn't have to be exactly Krakow, it could be before if there's something presents itself, but it probably will be Krakow. And then I get a nice easy start in the morning.